Good evening, everyone. Yes, another Sunday evening Power Stories edition featuring the amazing Candice Modiselle. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm so excited about this. I cannot freaking wait. I hope you guys are all doing well. And I hope you've been having an amazing Sunday evening, keeping safe. Welcome to Power Stories again. Thank you so much for taking out your time to be with us. And I'm just going to wait for Candice to appear online. And then we will be good to go. Hi, Charlie. Thank you for joining Power Stories. I really appreciate it. Very, very exciting to see you here. And looking forward to seeing a whole lot more people and engaging with you. So let's see if she can pick up my invitation now. Usually does take a while for some strange reason, but nonetheless, how's everyone feeling? How are you guys doing, man? I'm so happy that Uncle Cyril Ramaphosa has decided to lift the alcohol ban for all of you liquor lovers there. I know I've definitely been missing my wine. So I'm really excited about that. And I see my girl Kanye, as usual. Thank you so much, friend, for always supporting me and for always tuning in to Power Stories. And there we go. I see Candice is online now, so I can quickly send her an invite and we'll be good to go. Okay. Hi, Mobile. What's up, Ferg? I see you there as well. Thanks for joining yet again. You always support me. I see it. There are lots of regulars now, and it just makes my heart so warm and fuzzy. Feels so warm and fuzzy inside, and I'm so excited. Hey, there we go.
I'm gonna put on a real cute filter. I gotta be one of these girls.
I see you right now. I see you right now.
A bit extra. Let's go.
Welcome to
something a little. Thanks. Yeah, but now I've got the Sunday all over my face. That's
hey, look at you, look more fly and everything. Hey,
one must. We don't really have a choice in this life. We don't really have a choice.
What's up, Power Queen Candice? Thank you so much. I'm so excited. You have no idea. How are you doing, beautiful?
I'm lovely. How are you, gorgeous? It's gonna be a great conversation, that's for sure.
Oh, I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my heart, in my soul that this is going to be freaking amazing. How's your Sunday going, though, otherwise?
So far, so good. I think because I work so much during the week, I normally use my weekends to catch up with all the additional work that I have. So it's been a very busy day, honestly speaking. Ideally, I would love for it to be a rest day. But I don't have the luxury of time at my disposal. But yeah, for the most part, I can't complain. And how's your day going?
Same, to be honest. Like I work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So literally, I've got the weekends to work on my side hustles and get on my grind mode and work.
Be a power queen, yes. I love
you know this. We can't stop. We just gotta keep doing what we do, and it'll pay off. And obviously, it's been paying off for you so far. So congratulations and well done. And thank you for being such a freaking huge inspiration to young girls, young boys, women, men, black, white, colored, Indian. You are amazing.
You're most welcome. That's an honor. It's always great to be affirmed by people, knowing that what you're doing has a substantial value. I don't take it for granted. I'm not one that's normally driven by ego things. So thank you very much.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. And welcome to Power Stories.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. It's honestly a pleasure. I've been wanting to interview you for a long time, and I really stick to what I believe in, and I only interact with women that I really truly feel are aligned with me and speak to my soul. And women like yourself, that, like you said, you're a very humble person from what I've seen, and you're doing amazing things. And I feel like a platform like this is so needed for young girls and women to go, oh my gosh, Candice is doing amazing things. I want to know more about her. And then they get to know more about you, and they end up feeling inspired and motivated, and they get to know who you really are, and on such an intimate level, an environment and space like this. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Let's get the show notes. Yes,
really awesome. So Candice, Where
Yes.
did you grow up? How was your upbringing? Obviously, I know that you grew up in a big family with also two other power queens. I actually went to school
Yes.
with Tita Buntle and UJ. So I'd really like to know more about you and when you grew up. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
what was I?
yes, I know, right? I know.
I need to
She was
look.
there like top working, doing choreography, and it was amazing. So I
All
was
of
like,
those
I've
things,
got
you know,
it.
you know.
Exactly. I knew her, so I was like, I want to get to know you as well. So where did you grow up? How was your upbringing?
My upbringing was a very colorful one. I feel like that's always the best way for me to describe it. There's no one-dimensional way to box a life that was just full of so much life in and of itself.
Yeah,
Grew up in a home full of an overflow of love, with my two sisters and mommy, led
yeah,
by the incredible matriarch that is my mother. We lost
yeah.
my father in 1997, and
Mm,
since then it really was us soldiering forward as a collective, as the four of
mm,
us, and still very much still have a very strong connection. um yeah, I mean, I think how you would envision a lot of these sitcom families with very humorous, singing, dancing, a lot of teasing, a
mm.
lot of joking, but all of it just really being founded on God's teachings and love
Yeah,
was our upbringing. And it was very interesting in contrast to a lot of the stories that you would see, or a lot of the narrative that you would see on screen.
yeah,
We didn't necessarily, or at least at my age when I was quite young, I wasn't fully aware of the fact that we were different in that way, that we were unconventional, that it wasn't your nuclear family with one mother, one father, and children, but it
mm,
was just one mother and just three kids. And I think because we're enveloped in so much love, we never realized the differences, and
yeah,
also understand that we grew up in a home that was also largely different, because there was also my oldest sister Rufile, who
yeah,
was
yeah.
living with albinism. So all of these dimensions of what makes our family so vastly different from the ordinary
Mm,
family, even to
mm.
this very day, I don't consider, and I don't realize how different, I mean, that's the
Yeah,
best way, that but
yeah,
unconventional, that my family is how structured we are. But that
yeah.
is the reality of South Africa, and that's the reality of many homes around the
Yes.
world. um but yeah, like I said, really, we are a praying family, still very much are a family that really is, a very intense support structure.
Mm,
So my family is very, and is still very much strong in academics, excellence, Black excellence. And
mm,
yeah, we didn't necessarily have the option to be anything but great. And also as
mm.
a contribution to my mom, who's done so much for us. So yeah, like, as I'm like, it was so colorful because there were so many parts of this puzzle. And it definitely wasn't smooth sailing, because you can imagine, with one mother, three children, one source of
Yeah.
income, one stream of income, and having to really compensate wherever possible, and
Mm.
give us everything that we needed and wanted. And really, God's grace has carried us through every phase of our lives, from the darkest moments to the greatest celebrations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on too much, because it's a very, I mean, 26 years of an upbringing is quite a very long journey to try and
Sure.
summarize. But yeah, I think I've kind of, yeah. I think the most beautiful thing, I think that's worth mentioning, of course, is how supportive my mother was in whatever
Mm.
we wanted to do, in really whatever we wanted to do, as long as, again, it was founded on passion,
Yeah.
commitment,
Yeah.
absolute excellence in its execution. And yeah, I don't think a lot of families have the privilege, or a lot of young
Yeah.
people get to
Yeah.
openly say that my mom supported my dreams.
Yeah.
My
It's
mom
very
did,
rare.
and she
It's
still
very
does.
rare, and especially for us, Black people. We grow up with parents who are very conventional and are very used to, like, you go to school, you get a 9 to 5, you earn a living, you help out at home, and that's
That's
the
it.
picture of success for them. You know what I mean? And I'm so, like, inspired to know that there are parents out there that are very supportive of young daughters and children's dreams and passions. And I think it's actually another conversation I think that should be targeted at parents, to educate them and go, you know what, these days you can be anything and be successful at it. You can be an actress, you can be a
Yes,
radio presenter, you can be
yes,
a fashion designer, you can be literally anything. But your
anything.
mother instilled the right values in you: commitment, dedication, hard work. As long as those three things are accompanied journey with your passion, there's nothing that will make you not succeed in life, you know?
I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't
Hmm.
agree more. Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool. And so what would you then say is your like unique story, that one story that stands out that you feel like, you know what, that either like shaped me or grew me as a person, or I don't know, just really impacted your life in a significant way?
Look, there are a number of definitive moments in my life that
Yeah.
have created the person that I am today and shaped my character. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer. I mean, and it's a conversation I was having on another live not too long ago that um, we need to build and also sustain character, and that's
Mm,
normally a product of the the experiences that we have to face in our lives. For me, naturally, growing up in a home where we were devoid of a father figure,
uh-huh.
um, that for me obviously is one very big big or important thing worth considering,
Yeah.
because again it was a single mother headed home, and
Yeah.
that was not, like I mentioned before, wasn't the most conventional way.
Yeah.
um, but oh, in addition to that, I mean, there were the financial constraints, financial difficulties, things with overcoming. Also, trying to gauge what is possible and what is attainable. It's never necessarily
Mm,
easy because you'll have
mm.
dreams and you'll um, have other things that you want to achieve in your life, and then you consider that. But realistically speaking, is it possible? Because
Yeah.
you are not in the financial brackets to do these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
A lot of things were put off. Like I wanted to do dance training when I was
Mm.
quite young. I wanted to do ballet. I wanted to be a trained ballet dancer. I only
Yeah.
actually got ballet training and strength when I was 20. That was my first time
Really?
when I was at Wits. So something that had been put off for so long is something I only
Yeah.
really got to at a later stage of my life, which, I mean, if something is meant for you, it will always find you.
Yes.
So things like that. But I think that if I were to look at one specific phase or period in my life that is kind of um, been not only responsible for
Mm.
my character growth, I
Yeah.
would definitely say it was 2015.
Okay.
2015 was quite a difficult year on me. Academically, I was doing terribly. Um, I was with my high school sweetheart for years, and we
Yeah.
went our separate ways after realizing that we had an unreconcilable differences. So there's so
Mm-hmm.
many things that you know you shape your entire identity around. So
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
shape my identity around how well I was doing academically, my relationship, how valued I was by other people, and all of a sudden I also was under an agency and I wasn't booking any work. So I
Okay.
everything that I thought I knew and everything that I thought I was exceptionally good at and everything that I really grounded my identity around was crumbling
Mm.
terribly,
Mm. Mm.
terribly. So I had to really do some foundation work, and I think it's something that we're never really taught,
Yep.
especially as far as mental health is concerned. I started seeing a therapist because I was so lost. I was so lost. My identity was on a strong zero. I didn't know who I was, and I was really grabbing at whatever thing trying to get in that
Mm.
moment. You know, also
Mm.
as a young girl. I mean, I was 21 at the time. Um, then you try and find validation outside of you,
Yeah.
and you try and find acceptance outside of you, and essentially you are your own
Yeah.
source.
Yeah.
So yeah, that year was quite a difficult one. Lost a very good friend of mine. It was just a very
A lot.
turbulent year, as
Yeah.
far as academics, career, identity, self, mental health, love, relationships, values, all of these things that really ground us were being challenged,
Mm.
questioned, and tested in that time.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, I've come out of it a much better woman, and
Mm.
I think it was necessary in order for me to
Yeah.
kind of find the woman that I am today.
Yeah. You know, that is such an for me, I connect a lot with what you went through because it's actually something that I want to talk about maybe in future. mental health, because I also actually
Yes.
went through something very similar to that. I've suffered depression. I've been diagnosed with depression twice in my life. Once when I was about 17, 18 years old, and then it happened again at about 2 years ago, I would say. Yeah, around 2 years. And it's people. It's such a weird illness, because a lot of people that don't know you don't
Yeah.
understand how a person can end up being depressed. You know, it's like,
Yes, they
oh,
think
we're
you're
all
just
the way.
sad or you're moody or temperamental.
Exactly. And unfortunately, my depression stems from also an anger issue that I never dealt with when I was a very young age. I was a very aggressive child, and I was very
Mm,
energetic, but growing up, that energy and that anger got so intense that I did not know how to deal with it. And then it
mm,
got mixed with depression with my father's passing. A lot of broken relationships with friends and boys, and I also suffered a lot in school. I hated school. There was a time where I literally went to school only to see friends. That was like the only reason
yeah,
why I went to school. And
absolutely. It forms part of your routine, but you're just kind of
yes,
on autopilot. That was me. I don't
yes,
know.
yes,
I found myself in that same year, um, walking to the deregistration office. I had the format, the pink form. I'd filled it out, and I was
yeah,
like, I'm deregistering. I'm dropping out. I'm done.
yeah,
I'm done. I'm
yeah,
choosing a different degree. I'm doing something
yeah,
different. I'm shifting careers altogether because nothing was coming together at all. But
yes,
then I
yes,
thought, yeah, how am I going to explain to my mom that I've
yes.
dropped out?
Yeah. So, but you made it through, you know, and it's, I'm glad that you shared that, such a personal story, because this is exactly why I started Power Stories. I wanted people to be honest, and honesty, I feel, brings about solutions for people that might be suffering or going through the
And
same thing
healing,
that you.
and
You know, and
healing.
healing, exactly, like you, that's the perfect word to use, is healing. So thank you so much for sharing that story.
You're
And so
welcome.
then came radio, came TV, you know, things started working out for you. How on earth did you manage to get into such a difficult industry? You know, because I know there's a lot of people who try to get into it, and it takes them forever to like have that, you know, success that finally, you know, comes to life. And just getting into this industry is very, very hard. How did you manage to gain access to it, and how did you manage to
Yeah.
become so successful, but also like unique, remain authentic and remain yourself, but still, you know, be like, hey, this is me, I'm here and I'm killing it and I'm here to stay. How did you pull that off? How did you attain that
Yo,
kind of success?
it's honestly a combination of so many different factors. So many. Um, I think to this very day, I'm still working on my solid ground, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm setting the precedence on who I am in this industry. I think it's an
Yeah.
ongoing journey, but
Okay.
it definitely started from, and I don't eliminate the fact that it was my teachings growing up. um the incredible home that I've grown up in has kind of set the values of how, and planted the seeds over the years that have allowed
Mm.
me to sustain myself in the industry now. Because I
Mm.
think the important thing, especially when getting into the conversation about how to get into the industry, we also need to solidify and have conversations on how to sustain yourself in this industry, and
Mm.
how to enter in a way that you have um, a level of foresight and longevity in mind. Because a
Uh-huh.
lot of people will literally just try and trend on social media, and then they don't
Yeah.
have a plan in mind. For me,
Yeah.
because I wanted to get into this industry and it was grounded on sheer passion, nothing else made more sense to me. It was the little things, like that's why I say a lot of it was like seeds that were planted from my childhood. So little
Yeah.
things like doing impersonations in front of my family on the odd nights, and singing like Mariah Carey, or singing like Shakira, or singing like someone really,
Yeah.
and then everything else outside of that. So um it could have been those small moments of entertaining my family, and then slowly it became school plays, and from school plays, theater productions, big stages and television screens.
Mm.
So it really has been the preparation of that. But As far as officially then getting into the industry and the world being introduced to me, Candice Modiselle, it did start um, officially with YoTV. I had been doing some
Mhm.
short films here and there, you know,
Yes.
Lokshan by Scope,
Yes, yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
those things. So I did start off with those smaller projects, uh, like university films, so varsity films, all of these things.
Yeah.
But then officially was with YoTV Live, which I joined after many years of trying to find work. And I auditioned for so many soapies, so many series, so many dramas, television shows. But the one thing, I never envisioned myself first as a television presenter. I always
Oh,
envisioned myself as an
really?
actress. Yeah. And then the opportunity
Okay.
for your TV came up. My agent said, Candice, give it a go. I looked at her and I was like, ma'am, I'm too old for this. I'm too old. And I really wasn't. I was in the age bracket. But because I had
Yeah.
so much experience as an actress, I felt
Yeah.
like my big break was a soapy or a series or a
Okay.
drama
Yeah.
or a or feature film because I felt like I was ready for that, but clearly not.
Mm. Mm.
Um, and then I auditioned for YoTV Live, and I had the absolute fantastic, formidable, phenomenal support from the late great Akumzika Jezile, who
Mm. Mm.
auditioned me, and he really did push me into um, the the comforting arms of the YoTV audience and the very receptive audience, the SABC1 audience that I was with for 4 years, for
Yeah.
3 years, in fact. Um, no, 4 years. So really, it's kind of been the combination of all of those amazing uh, little steps that I've had to encounter, and then YoTV
Yeah.
happened in the same year. 6 months after joining YoTV, I joined Generation
Sure.
for Legacy. So 2016 was a big year for the girl. It was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
year,
Wow.
but
That's amazing.
and since then it's been and another thing, that's why I say, in speaking about getting into the industry, you also need to consider longevity, how you
Yeah.
move from job to job, or how you move within your job, how you conduct yourself within your place of work, no matter how small your role is, no matter
Mm.
how seemingly insignificant you think your position is in that particular industry or in that
Mm.
particular space of work. You need to value it and be excellent at it, because
Mm.
I think it's how I've conducted myself, the relationships that I've created, and how I've respected everyone I've been in the same space with. That's allowed me to easily maneuver from one job to the next.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I mean, again, here I am.
Yes. And it's such an encouraging thing, like what you just said, the fact that at first you were like, oh, OTV, no, not really. I should be in a
Yeah.
feature film or I should be an actress. But funny enough, accepting that position and embracing it, brought about such amazing other opportunities that helped you grow as a personality, as an actress, as a creative, and as an artist. Because I do feel like I know. A lot of people don't regard actresses or TV presenters as artists, and I think it's a freaking art, and
Mm,
not everyone can do that. And I think that a lot of
yeah.
people end up undermining their art and going, no, I'm just a TV personality, oh, but it's bigger than
Mm-hmm.
that. And the fact
It's
that
a
you
craft.
allow
It's a,
this,
it's a
it's a
craft to what we
craft.
do. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not
Yes.
something that we take it for granted. And when you get into it, make sure that you literally have a plan, because there are people who get into the industry and don't have plans. And unfortunately, we end up seeing that there isn't a plan. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
it shows. And so then, how did you end up managing and growing your personal brand and your career so well? Is this a collective effort, or are you a person that also likes to like give direction on where you want to go, and
Mm.
you kind of vocalize your visions for yourself? How does that work, and how do you manage that? How do you manage your personal brand and career?
I'm definitely blessed enough to be surrounded by people that are influential in a way that they're able to make suggestions. But for the most part, it's been me being very decisive on what I want at that time. Also, I'm blessed to have a level of discernment where I
Mm-hmm.
know what the next phase in my life needs to kind of be, or how I need to
Yeah.
move. Also, a lot of what I do is not necessarily dependent on how I want to be perceived, or how I want the world to perceive me, or how I envision how I'm going to trend. the post that people are going to put about me, which publication is going to say what about me. It's a lot less about that, but more about how I can offer myself to the world as someone that can be, I don't always want to say inspirational because it can get thrown a little left, but I'm a person that grounds herself in being of service to other people, which is why I was able to, and I mean, we'll probably tap and speak about this a little bit later. What I was able to, when I did leave Generations, I knew that it's because I needed to be of service to people. So I took 3 months away from the industry. No acting, no presenting, no radio. I literally took, well, except radio, I took 3 months away from every other medium, and my interaction with social media was also quite limited. And I just spent my time doing workshops with young people. So I kind of always know. I listen to myself. I listen to the people that impact who I impact, because also in being someone that submits themselves to being of service to other people, you also need to read the room and kind of figure out what is the need, what do people need, what do people desire, and how can I make myself available to them for them to ignite whatever fire or flame they feel like has been extinguished. So so that's been a very big thing for me. Also, it's me working on my passions and the things that I love. All the things that I love. I move where I love. And I go where I grow. I go where I grow. So those are being those are the foundations that I've really set my journey and my movement in this industry on.
Yeah, that is so
And again,
important.
I mean, and I'm blessed to have an incredible agent. Let me not even forget to mention the fact that my agent and my publicist and my family and my friends and the different advisors are mentors in this industry. People that can literally call me and say, listen, Candice, you've been a bit quiet, or listen, Candice, I feel like ABCD, or people that were my previous employers. That's the kind of relationship that I have with them, that they're able to contact me and say, I see you got this new show, congratulations. Or, listen, I saw an article and I'm slightly concerned, are you okay? Things like that, things like that. So kind of knowing the different people that play an important part in my life, and also being able to filter those things out with a level of discernment, know what's best for me in that moment, and move from that space, and move from a place of love, and move from a place of servitude. That for me, those have been very, very important parts of my movement.
Yeah, that's really important, and it's so wonderful that you have people like that in your life, because unfortunately not all of us have that kind of support structure. We desire it so much, but we just don't receive it. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes not having a proper or solid support structure can literally damage a person, can demotivate a person. You know, to a point where you're like, you know what, I'm done with this crap. I'm not doing it anymore, and I'm just gonna go back to being plain Jane and doing what I need to do just to get that paycheck, so I can live paycheck to paycheck. Unfortunately, you know. So yeah, so big ups to you, and I really commend you for pushing through and going, you know what, I'm doing what I love. You know, I'm doing what I love, and that's it. So talking about passion, you are a change agent, a phenomenal one at that, and you are such an inspiration to the youth. And I feel like a lot of people think that it's easy to be a change agent, and it's not. It's such a big role. Like it's a big responsibility to take on. So what made you like come to a decision to go, you know what, this is what I want to be. I want to be an inspiration to youth. I want to assist them. I want to mentor them. I want to empower them. I want to walk journeys with them. What made you come to that decision?
Sure, I didn't choose it. It chose me, honestly speaking. There's certain roles that we fulfill in life, and certain roles that, and everyone in this life, in fact, plays such a vital role. And I don't ever want to endorse the idea that because I have strategically now positioned myself this way, that they are not equally important because they don't view themselves as transformational. They themselves are also extremely important. But I was very aware, and that's why I said a level of awareness and mindfulness is so important in your life, because one thing that stood out for me, especially when I joined YoTV. So remember, I joined YoTV from a place of struggling to find work, But here's something
Mm.
that's really interesting to explore. Let me go into this for the experience. So many lessons to learn, so many mentors I can learn from. And
Yeah.
in that, from the engagement that I got on social media and young people reaching out to me, there was a very strong recurrence of Candice, I'm inspired by you. Candice,
Mm.
I see that you're juggling your degree and you're also doing this. Candice, I can relate to you. Candice, I see so much of who I want to be in you. And me then knowing that I cannot drop the ball. And
Yeah.
me knowing that I have a lot of these people's hopes in my hands and I am a foreshadowing of what's possible for them. So I
Mm.
need to then assume the role as a figure. I need to
Mm.
assume the role as an
Mm.
inspiration, not by choice. Honestly, I don't think many, and I like to use the term loosely, celebrities or public figures choose to be
Yeah.
role models. I don't think they go into
Yeah.
this saying, I'm going to inspire the world. They often go into it
Yes.
saying, I'm going to go do what I love. And then
Yes.
naturally, then there'll be audiences that gravitate towards what you do, and
Yes.
they're no
Yes.
longer taking the 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 art that they love, but they're also taking the person that comes with it, and they see
Yeah.
so much inspiration in that.
Mm.
So I realized then also, I think, and the unfortunate part is, especially as a young Black woman, I think we need a lot more strong, I hate the term strong, but potent
Mm.
young Black woman figures that speak to values that we need in more young women.
Yeah.
And it's not to speak ill of the people that have come before me, not even remotely, but I want young girls to see me and see the value of hard work. I want them
Yes.
to
Yes.
see what consistency looks like, what respect looks
Yes.
like, what
Yes.
self-love and
Yes.
valuing who you are. I want them to see that in me, and for them
Yeah.
to want to model the same principles in themselves and their own
Yes.
lives. And the thing is, I'm very solution driven. So if there's something that I feel is lacking, I don't point it out and say this is not there. I say, how can I be the difference? And so then
Yes.
I will then see the gap in that market. I'll see that and I will stand in the gap and assume that role.
Mm.
And
Mm.
from the lack of those things that were there, I felt young people lack soft skills. Let me teach them. Young people lack self-confidence. Let me offer it. Young
Mm-hmm.
people lack the ability to do a lot of problem solving, a lot of things,
Yeah.
communication skills. The things
Yeah.
that they lack, for me who has them, let me offer them to them.
Yeah. And I absolutely love that. And I love the fact that you offer yourself in such an immense way. And like you said, it's something that presented itself to you. And you
Mm.
could not turn a blind eye and go, well, it's not my role to teach people, how to articulate themselves better,
Or
how
how
to
to write
love
an
themselves.
email or put together a
Exactly.
CV. Didn't you learn that in school? You guys should have learned that
Exactly.
already. They don't learn
It
it.
is insane. And I think that, and I know that public figures, tend to feel like they're not responsible to help people. But for me, I don't look at it in that sense. I feel like every human being is responsible of being a human being. And for me, that is helping a person in need, teaching a person in need. It
100%.
doesn't boil down to the fact that you've got a parent, let your parents teach you. You go to school, let the school teach you. It's got nothing to do with that. It has to do with you being a human being and going, I see that young girl needs my help. Let me help her because I've got 5 minutes to spare. It's not going to take anything from what
Mm-hmm.
you do as a person, especially if you're a
Mm-hmm.
woman who is going, I love young girls and I love women and I love
Yes.
people and I want to see
Yes.
people win. Well, if you want to see people win and you see people struggling, you should probably want to offer your help, and I
Yeah.
commend you for that and I respect you for that. Um,
Thank you.
two quick questions.
Sure.
Um,
Ask
why do you
away.
think
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this? And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We see all the comments and all the love. We see you. Thank you so much. Two quick questions. Do you think that there is power in storytelling? And lastly, how do you think that women can conquer powerfully together?
There is always power in storytelling because
Mm.
storytelling creates community and community creates unity and unity
Mm.
creates strength.
Yeah.
So we need to tell our stories. And I mean, this interview and this conversation that we're having is in and of itself a form of storytelling.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
need to use every opportunity that we have to come together as people
Mm.
and on a human level. on a human connection level and tell our stories, because there's someone here in the comments who will be inspired. There's someone here in the comments who will be impacted, who will have a shift of their paradigm in the way they approach things just by listening, or just that comfort of knowing that I'm not alone. So our stories are so important. Even whatever platform it is, it could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be television, it could be Showmax, it could be Netflix, it could be CakeNet. Our stories are important. Also, in telling our stories, we preserve our identity in that. That's what I think is so painful about being African, is that we haven't quite mastered, or at least we're at a space now, but we haven't mastered how to archive our blackness.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy you said that.
So it's been so easy for the Western world and the European world to tell us who we are from a lens that they assume, because they've had the technology, they've had the knowledge, they've had the resources to come to Africa and have their own perception of Africa and their own agenda of Africa, and then give that to the Western world, so much so that we've had to see ourselves through someone else's lens, and we don't know who we are in the core of our identity. We still struggle.
Does it not? I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but it makes me so sad when I see outsiders archiving our stories and benefiting immensely from our stories without including us, and then I see us going, oh my god, that's so dope, did you see? And I'm like, guys, okay.
No, I from two, and I relate to that on two levels. I relate to that on a black woman, African woman level, and I relate to it on an artistic level. So on an artistic level, I'm just like, where are the African actors? Where are the African writers? Where are the African writers? Where's the African music? So I critique a lot of the things. Like there's a series, I think it's a film now that's going to come out on Netflix, and I saw the trailer earlier on, and it's something, I think it's called Nigerian Prince, and it's about a Nigerian scammer. And a lot of people are like, first of all, you need to stop perpetuating this idea that Nigerians are scammers. We get it that it's a story that you wanted to tell and highlight, but first of all, you're kind of perpetuating the stereotype. It's almost like the same thing. It's almost like two leads of a film where the man is dark skinned and the woman is light skinned. That seems to be happening a lot. So we need to kind of give many dimensions to the world that we live in. But also in that same movie, the guy is not Nigerian, so he has a Nigerian accent that just they're like, this is not a Nigerian accent. So first of all, you're gonna make a movie called Nigerian Prince, and he's not Nigerian, and you can hear he's not Nigerian because his accent doesn't make no sense. So I really do. So on both levels, I struggle with that. But it doesn't diminish the fact that storytelling is very important. It is important, and if we can then look at each other both as women, but also as artists, less as competition, but more as opportunities to collaborate. I think there's so much that can be done. Also because we've existed in a system that has pitted us against each other and created competition against each other. Now, every man for himself, that kind of Darwinism where survival of the fittest idea. So we're always fighting for something, and we need to stop fighting each other. I think that's a very important element of who we need to be.
Oh, the power of supporting each other, the power of collaborating, the power of just helping each other grow and you know, make money and be successful and leave legacies for young. You know what I mean? It's so important, and there's so much freaking power in that. And I just hope that Black people and Africans start realizing that, you know, start realizing that I don't have to feel some type of way about Candice because she got that role that I auditioned for. I was supposed to be like, yo, Candice, how the hell did you get that role? And big ups to you and congratulations.
How do you deal with? What can I learn from the people around me? One of my favorite quotes is, if you see God blessing your neighbor, it just means that he's in the neighborhood. That's an important thing, that we don't look at someone on social media who posted their car and you think, I wonder who bought it for them. All of these things we need
Yes,
to start doing, that we're inspired by other people's success and growth, and we're able to then
exactly.
learn from how they've moved, that we can kind of
Exactly.
implement in our own lives.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
100%. Oh my God, Candice, thank you for such an honest, such a powerful, such an inspiring, such an entertaining conversation. I've had a phenomenal time. I've learned so much about you. I've learned a lot of things. You've taught me a couple of things, and I won't forget this conversation and this moment that we shared together. And I just want to thank you so, so much for giving your time on a Sunday evening just to
You're
chat
most
to
welcome.
me.
Is it
You
over
know,
already?
it's
Oh,
over. It's over. But maybe we'll have more. You know, maybe we'll connect on a deeper level and have more conversations because I definitely
yeah.
enjoyed hanging out with you.
We hanging out, girl. In a lockdown, this is a form of hanging out because let's talk about it. We social distancing, so it's the same thing. You and I is hanging
So
out.
and I just want to say thank you to everyone that also took out their time just to join in the conversation. I know a lot of people, you know, are kind of reluctant, especially when we have conversations like these. It is not always about turning up and drinking and having a, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? These conversations are
Yes.
very meaningful. And I'm so
Yes.
happy that people actually participated and joined in. And I appreciate everyone that didn't. I appreciate you. And I just wish you all the success that you want, and I hope that you keep growing. I hope that you keep doing your thing. I'm rooting for you
Thank
and
you.
keeping an inspiration to women and young girls.
Likewise, what you're doing is great. I think not often
Thank
enough are
you.
people using their platforms to impact everyone, and you're doing a marvelous job. So thank you for your
Thank you
time
so much.
and for what
I
you
really
keep doing.
appreciate it.
Blessings to
Thank
you.
you.
Till
For the
I'm
rest of
coming,
your
thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
bye.
Bye bye.